want to talk about something very simple, and it is called simple interest. It is a part of leisure profit and loss. Now, when you talk about the simple interest in mathematics, simple interest, you have to know what is the interest. The interest is the money that one pays for borrowing money, or the money that one earns for keeping money. If now you have kept amount of money in your pockets or somewhere else, and then you get a profit, and that profit is definitely calculated in different ways. That's the interest, the money that one pays for the borrowing money. After you have taken money from me, then you promise to pay that amount of money in terms of different way. We just call it interest. Now, interest is the money that one pays for borrowing money, or the money that one earns for keeping money. Example, in a bank account, now you have an account in the bank. Now you decide to keep some amount in the bank. At the end of the year, you may get what we call it a profit. A profit by keeping money, because we learned about profit. Now, if now you get a profit by keeping that money, and that profit is called interest. It is called what? Interest. Because you don't sell something. You have not sold something, but you have kept money, and then after a few years or after a few months, you earn some profit. That profit is called interest. Kwa baada ya kutunza hela, unapata faida. Hii faida tunaita interest. Kwanza sio kwa sababu umeuza kitu. Ile profit tunaita kwa sababu umenunua kitu, umeuza kitu. Lakini hii unaipata baada ya kutunza tu hela, au baada ya kuazimishwa hela. Inabidi uilipe. Kwa maana mimi nakuazimisha 500, lakini inabidi uje unirudishie 1000. Kwa maana tayari ile ukichukua 1000 ukaitoa ile 500, ile 500 inaongezeka, tunaita interest. Lakini hujauza kitu. Ni pesa umetunza au umemwazimisha pesa. And that's what we call it simple interest. Now, in talking about simple interest, the initial amount of money saved or borrowed is called the principal. The amount that I've given for the first time when you came to me, then you asked me to borrow the money or to lend you money. I decided to lend you money, then I've given you, maybe let us assume that I've given you 10,000 to you. Now, that is principal. The first money, that the initial amount that I've given to you at the money, or the initial amount that I've kept or saved in the bank, it is called principal. Kwa ile hela ya kwanza ambayo nimechukua nikakupa au nikatunza benki, ile hela ambayo naiweka kwa mara ya kwanza tunaita principal. We call it what? Principal. And also, when the interest is calculated on the principal amount, it is called simple interest. Now, if now you have made a calculation for a year, then you have got that profit. Maybe I gave you 10,000. Then after 3 months, I want you to pay back the money that I gave to you. Now, instead of giving me 10,000, then you gave me, let's say, 15,000 after 3 months. Now, 15,000, now there is the interest of 5,000. That money, 5,000, is called interest. And that's how we say, when the interest is calculated on the principal amount, it is called simple interest. Simple interest is charged on the principal amount per year. It is done per year, not per month. It is done per year. You can think, now maybe I've given you the money, then I need you to pay back me in 3 months. Now I take that 3 months out of 12 months so as I can get a year. We don't use months. Are you together? And that's why we say it is charged on the principal amount per year. Miezi, kama amekwambia miezi, unaibadilisha kwenda kwenye nini? Kwenye mwaka. Kwa sababu tunaichaji hii hela kwa mwaka. Kwa tunafanya calculation kwa hii hela kwa mwaka. So that is something that you need to understand. Therefore we say the simple interest that is equal to principal times rate times time in year over 100%. Why is it over 100%? Because we have something called rate here. Rate is expressed in terms of percentage. It is expressed in terms of what? Percentage. And remember something, I told you something very interesting. Rate, it is expressed in terms of percentage. And that's why I said anything that is expressed in terms of percentage must be written over 100. Kwa manake kwa sababu rate ni asilimia. Kwa kama imeandikwa katika asilimia, niliwaambia kitu chochote ambacho kinaandikwa katika asilimia kinawekwa juu ya ngapi? Ya 100. And that's why you can see principal times rate times time. Time must be expressed in terms of year. Over 100%. Principal, that is P. Rate, that is R. Time, that is T. Over 100. That's why in short, we say simple interest is equal to PRT over 100. Example, we have an example here. Mwajuma obtains a T shillings 500,000 loan from a bank at the rate of 15% interest per year. Find the simple interest charged for 2 years. That was the question. First of all, you have to know something. Now, the principal that was invested, we have principal is equal to 500,000. This is principal. And then we have time. Time is equal to 2 years. Then we have rate. Rate is equal to 15%. Now we are looking for the simple interest. Simple interest is equal to PRT over what? Over 100. Now remember, P is equal to 500,000 times rate is 15 times time, which is equal to what? 2 over 100. Therefore, let us simplify. It is all about simplifying. Then after we have 5,000 times 15 times 2 is equal now to 5,000 times that, which now is equal to 15, then tetrazino. Now the interest was supposed to be 150,000. That was the interest. Now the interest is calculated in this way. So all in all, it is all about substituting what you've been given. Now, the other example here, an amount of money was saved at 12% per annum. PA, that is per annum. The same I like to say per year. For 6 months. If the interest received was 36,000, how much money was saved? Now from here, the interest were given 36,000. The interest was there. Now, rate is equal to 12%. And then time is equal to 6 months. Now, but remember something, I told you, time is expressed in terms of what? Yeah. Now, you have to take this 6%, that is 6 here, that is 6 over what? Over 12. You simplify 1, then 2. Is equal to a half year. This is time. Then, the question is to find out the principal. To find out the principal. Now, remember, interest is equal now to PRT over 100. Are you together? Now, but interest is equal to 36,000. Is equal now, we have to be very careful when talking about these things. If now you fail to explain, you have mistake in your head. Now, principal is nothing. Times. Rate is 12. Times. Here, which is equal to 1 over 2. Or 100. Now we can simplify. By 2, 1. By 2, it is what? It is 6. Are you together? Yeah. Then we have 36,000 is equal to P, 6P. 6 times P over 100. Then we multiply by 100, we divide by 6. We multiply here by 100, we divide it by what? By 6. Now this comes out. Then by 6, 1. By 6 it is what? 60. Then we have 6,000 times 10. Now P is equal to 60,000. Now this is how money was deposited. Now you have, after you have written the formula and the data, you have extracted the data from the question, you have to know what is it missing. What was missing here? The money that was saved. That is the deposit amount. That is P. But interest was there, time was there, and also rate was there. It was all about the substituting the value of what you've been given and the value of what you have been not given, you solve for it. Are you together? Now example number 3. Now Mr. Hango saved the Tanzania shillings 20,000 in a bank. Received an interest of Tanzania shillings 2,400 on his savings. If the bank offered an interest of 6% per annum, how long did he keep? How long means time. How long did he keep the money in the bank? Kwa kama aliweka shilingi 20,000 kwenye benki, akapata faida 2,400 kwa 6%. Sawa? Kwa mwaka. Je, aliweka kwa muda gani? What now is missing here, you have deposited amount that is 20,000. Then you have interest which is equal to 2,400. Now we have rate which is equal to 60%. Now we are looking about time. Now time is equal to what? Now remember, from PRT over 100 is equal to interest. Now remember, P is 20,000 times rate is 60 times time, that is what we are looking for. Over what? Over 100 is equal to interest 2,400. Now mathematically, cancel this one and this one. Sawa jamani? Kwa sababu tunatafuta muda ndio tulioulizwa. Now, if that is the case, we have this one and this one. Now, we have 200 times 60 times t is equal now 2,400. If that is the case now, this is 1,200 is equal now 2,400. Now we divide by 1,200 divided by 1,200. Now this cancels. Then this one, it is by what? 2. Now time is 2 years. Now sometimes you can be given everything, but what is missing only the time. Now definitely time is equal to 2 years. Now how long did he keep the money in the bank? 2 years. So he kept the money in the bank for 2 years. Because we were given the principal and also the interest were there, rate were there. Now what are we talking about? Time. Now it is something very interesting. Now the last example here. Here you have to be very careful. A man borrowed money. This is 120,000 from a bank for 2.5 years. If the bank charged a simple interest of 5.25% PA, how much was required to repay in total? When you talk about this question, means the amount that we are supposed to be paid is equal to the principal plus interest. Maana kama nimekupa shilingi 500, utanirudishia kiasi gani kama nitakutoza kwa 5% kwa mwaka? Baadake ile hela ambayo nimekupa kujumlisha ile faida zote kwa pamoja, ndo anauliza hapa. Now here we are calculating the amount, means we must have a principal and the interest. But the principal now from the question, we have principal which is equal to 120,000. Then we have time which is equal to 2.5 years. And then we have rate which is equal to 5.1/4%. Now we have to calculate interest. Now interest is equal to PRT over 100. Now remember, P is equal to 120,000 times rate is this one. That is to say 5.1/4, 21/4 times. Here we have 2.1/2. That is 5/2. Now over 100. Now we simplify this and this one. It is done. Then by 4 here it is 1. By 4 here it is what? 300. Then we have 300 times 21 times 5/2. By 2 here, it is what? By 2 here, 150. Then we have interest is equal now to 150 times 21 times 5. Now interest, the interest in general, we have 1,575. This is the interest. Now if this is the interest, after we have multiplied this one, we have got the interest. But the question is not all about finding the interest. It is all about finding the amount that will be paid back. Means you should have the principal. Principal is 120,000. Now you have 120,000 plus interest 157.50. Now that is the 1,500. That is 15,750. Now you add them so as you can get what we call it amount. Now this plus this one, you get it is the 1. Now that is the 135,750. This is the money that was supposed to be paid back. After now, you have calculated the interest, then you sum with the principal. Because I gave you 10,000. Now I want you to pay me back. If now I want you to pay me back, I've given you the interest. Now the interest is paid in terms of 5%. Now you calculate the interest, then you add up. Instead of paying me back 10,000, you add me later. Now you have got the interest is 5,000. Now you pay me 15,000. Now that is the total amount of the money that you are supposed to pay me back. Are you together? Kwa maana yake ukiambiwa kiasi utakachonirudisha mimi, unachukua ile hela ambayo tunaita deposited amounts ambayo ni P, unajumlisha na interest. Are you together? Now that is what I would have said. Now very clear. Now let us end there. And that is the end of the simple interest.